Well, good evening everybody and welcome to the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. My name is Andrew Mather and welcome to round 2 of our iRacing MX-5 Championship for BUKC and Club100 drivers. It is the iRacing Legends of BUKC Club100 MX-5 Championship. I'm very glad to be joined once again for this next round of the championship at a place that's very, very special to both of us, of course. But let's introduce him first. Mr. Howard Mitchell, how are you doing this evening?
Hello, Andrew, and hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for another round of Legends of Club100. Yeah, I mean, you know, as kids, this is the first track you learn, right? This is the first one you hear about. Very timely use of the track in the championship, of course, being between the two Grand Prix being run on that circuit for the first time ever, of course. Two consecutive Grand Prix being run, or two Grand Prix in the same season being run on this Silverstone Circuit. So it feels right, it feels proper that we are here. Yeah, the championship wouldn't be complete if we didn't pay a visit to Silverstone, would it? So no, it's going to be good, and I'm looking forward to it. And your actual question is how I am. I'm good, thanks. That was the wrong order.
But as you say, we are here at the home of British Motorsport, Silverstone, for round 2 of the championship. 5-round championship, of course. So it's still all to play for because we do have a dropped score. So tonight there'll be a couple of drivers who had a very good time in round 1 at Montreal, and we'll be looking to continue that on. There'll be some drivers who didn't have a good time at Montreal, looking to bounce back and hope that that was their drop score. And there's some drivers who weren't even at Montreal. So they're kicking off their campaigns this evening. We are in a practice session at the moment, so don't worry, you are not missing anything. But if we fade that button in there, we can hear the cars going around. You can get your comments in the YouTube box there. Howard's going to keep an eye on them the entire evening. We're just going to take timing away from there to look through and talk about. Let's talk about our entrance tonight first. Actually, let's have a look at.
Yeah.
Apologies, folks. We are back. Had some technical issues with Streamlabs there, but we're back up and running now. Here's your entry list for this evening. Mark Cuthbert, number 2. Matt Hale, number 3, the G3 Pro driver. Craig Brown, James Ibram is back again, Gibram Racing. Mike Hart on a circuit that he has probably raced on in real life in both Caterhams and maybe British GTs as well. Josh Ladd performed very well last time out in Montreal, missed out on some good points in the final, so he's got work to do tonight. JJ Aston, number 15. Jack Smith is a first timer for tonight. Tom Banks, who's done barely any practice at all in the players' car. Alexis Pirali's back. Simon Young's back. Steve Hicks is back, of course. If we didn't have Steve Hicks, we would have no lobby, so it's important that he's here. Aidan Bliss, Harry Melvin, Tom Dix, Daniel Thomas, Kirith Cali-Rai, James Jakins, Jacques Jensen, James de Havilland back again. Appeared for the first time at round number 1. Didn't take part in the test events, but is back for race 2. He's got his wheel fixed. So you see him in the Jaguar liveried car. Tom Edwards back for another run. Josh Wellard, Matt Isherwood, current championship leader. Rob Newman, Ben Bennyworth, Damien Wong, and then at the time of writing this entry list, 2 TBCs in terms of race number, but definitely here in terms of entry, Andrew English. And our guest driver for this evening, fresh off his double podium at the weekend at Alton Park in the BRDC Formula 3 Championship, Piers Pryor. Howard, who catches your eye there amongst that list?
I mean, our guest driver kind of has to grab our attention in that list. As you say, coming off the back of a double podium at Alton Park in the BRDC Formula 3 Championship, and indeed, this is a good practice run, is it not, for him with regards to that championship? But
the best of practice.
Yeah, the best of practice. Gosh, who catches my eye on that? Blimey. Mike Hart, as you say, possibly with real world experience around this circuit, most likely. James de Havilland, a really accomplished driver who you and I have had the pleasure of commentating on, our former British Universities Karting Championship champion of champions. Matt Isherwood, of course, returning from his win in round 1. Rob Newman, need we say more? Didn't quite, we bigged him up last time, as I recall, and in that, because for anyone who isn't aware, he's very, very accomplished Club 100 driver, very successful at the highest level of karting within Club 100. But I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. I thought he was maybe not fully up to speed.
I think he's still getting to grips with iRacing. Let's look at the points table.
Yeah.
We're going to go quiet for a second because the same issue that we had last time is going to appear again. But I don't know how to fix it this time. But here is your points table. And we're back. So yeah, the points table, 100 points for winning the round. So Matt Isherwood currently at the top of the table. 98 points for being second, and then a point for each position as you go down. So still very much all to play for there. As you say, Daniel Thomas, Mike Hart, James Ibram, Steve Hicks, that's your top 5. Josh Ladd, Andreas Bedoya, Ben Bennyworth, Damien Wong, and James de Havilland. But it was an impressive performance last time from Matt, wasn't it, Howard?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It was a very, very impressive performance from someone, of course, very established within. Well, we know him from BUKC, a legendary figure within BUKC circles, with the whole Swansea effort there. But showing. Sorry, I don't mean Swansea, do I?
You mean Cardiff?
I mean Cardiff. I'm terribly sorry to both of those Welsh unis that are right now apoplectic with rage at my mistaking those.
James Johnson in particular.
James Johnson in particular is jumping up and down. Yeah, oh, I've managed to offend multiple people at once there. But they're both lovely cities, if that in any way makes up for it. But yes, sorry. More than anything, mate, I just offended Mish himself. Anyway, you did an amazing round. I'm going to move on from that. Amazing round, amazing effort, winning, amazing celebrations past the line. In fact, I'm looking for some more impressive celebrations beyond the finish line tonight. Although I think it's harder because there's more runoff at Silverstone, so we'll see what they manage to do. But yeah, sorry, I'm being silly. Yeah, he had a really good time of it in Montreal at round 1, or at the Montreal circuit, and yeah, gonna be interesting to see how he gets on.
Absolutely. We can't be that far away from the end of this session. In fact, we're about 10 seconds away from it. Let's have a look at the map, though, the circuit map. And we're back. Apologies. Streamlabs is a bit silly, and because it's on the mixer board is plugged into a different USB port than it was earlier, so it keeps having to reset every time. But here's the circuit, the full circuit for the Grand Prix, and so that's the 18-turn version, 3.19 miles in length. First hosted a race of some sorts back in 1947 before the land was bought from the RAF by the Royal Automobile Club. In 1948. The corners, of course, proper circuit because it's got proper, corner names like Stowe and Copse and Maggots and Beckett's. All of them are named by a mix of local sites to the track, Stowe being a good example there, British motorsport historic places such as Brooklands, and of course references to the track's former life as an RAF field in the Second World War. For yourself, Howard, obviously it's a circuit that we've frequented as spectators many times. What's one of your? Can you name a favourite bit of the circuit? Or have you got?
Yeah,
several?
I can, mate. Yeah, Maggots and Beckett's is my absolute favourite part of this circuit as a spectator, most certainly. But also, for whenever I've driven it on a driving simulator, and oh gosh, I must have been driving this circuit on some form of driving sim since around about 2001, if not slightly earlier. I've driven a lot of different versions at various different screen resolutions, and Maggots and Beckett's is just so much fun to hook up through there, to follow other cars through there, and as I say, as a spectator, if you've never been to Silverstone as a spectator, or maybe you have but you were confined to a particular part of the circuit, then go to the entrance to the Maggots and Beckett's complex. You can get so down close to the apex there, and it is fantastic. So that has got to be my favourite part of it. But obviously, a really nice, varied number of corners, plenty of overtaking opportunities. You've got on the more sort of what I still think of as the new bit of the circuit. Should probably get with the times, I guess, but you know what I mean. The Wellington Straight, heading down towards Brooklands for that overtaking opportunity there. Down the Hanger Straight, of course, heading towards Stowe, and then after that towards Club, and also, into Village Corner as well, turn number 3. Those are probably the most, shall we say, conventional overtaking spots, in that we've got a high-speed section leading into a heavy braking zone, but really you can try your hand at an overtake at pretty much everywhere. It's so wide. In fact, it's quite funny I say Maggots and Beckett's, because ironically that's probably the one place where you very, very rarely get overtakes. But no, it's just great to see the cars running through there. So, part of why it's such a popular circuit, mate, and why it stood the test of time is, I think it has, it's adapted with the times, but it's still managed to keep the fundamentals of what it is, which is, a high average speed circuit, nice and wide, with plenty of overtaking opportunities, and that has stayed true throughout.
It has indeed. We're into qualifying now, so quick rundown of the format. We've got a qualifying session where each of the drivers has 3 flying laps. On their screens or on their computer systems, they are all on the track by themselves running simultaneously, so nobody can get in anybody's way for this qualifying session. They can all just do lap times by themselves. I thought I'd focus on this car because it's got an updated colour scheme. The Cardiff University Motorsports Club branding on the side of the car, which I'm very, very much liking. And there's the big old face.
What's the update?
You'll see it in about 10 seconds. But yeah, it's got the nice logo though of the Cardiff University Motorsports Club on the side of it. That we didn't have that for round 1, so well done there. I forget who's been working hard on that, but that is Aidan Bliss's car. He's on his first flying lap at the moment. 15 minutes is this qualifying session. I think pretty much everybody is out there on circuit. Let's see who else we have got out on circuit. Not that. Let's just press back into iRacing so we can control the cameras. There we go. Number 16, there's Jack Smith. Very nice livery on that number 16 machine. Doing some good lap times, good sector times at the moment. We'll see where he comes out in the mix of things.
Yeah, driver in the 2019 BUKC season in the Inters Championship, mate, for UCLan A, so University of Central Lancashire.
Yep.
And he's got some 24-hour experience as well. Not that we're planning any of the races to go that long tonight, but, you know, every little helps.
Absolutely. There's JJ Aston in the number 9, just coming around to finish his first lap. We have got time starting to come in now. We've got JRT running on the left-hand side on the tower there. Remember, if we're looking at a car, oh, there's JJ Aston goes into 5th place there. If we're looking at a car, it's highlighted on the tower on the left-hand screen with a white bar across their name, as you see there for JJ Aston. Matt Isherwood goes provisional pole position at this precise moment in time. Let's actually try and shift back to, well, we've seen Aidan Bliss already. In fact, no, let's go further forward. We've seen all these guys already. And there is Craig Brown in the number 7. He's currently sat in 8th place, 2 seconds off of Matt Isherwood's time at the moment. Ben Bennyworth, I do like the livery of this car, Howard, the Ben Bennyworth number 96. Particularly likes his Hellmann's, clearly. His Hellmann's mayonnaise with the branding on the side of the car. And it's serving him well at the moment. He's in 7th place. And
what, do we think it's the mayonnaise that's propelling him that? No, okay.
Could be, could be. It could be another form of blown diffuser.
Fair enough.
But
fair enough. I like the homage to, you know, his well-known helmet and race suit combination as well. That's
you're thinking of the wrong person. You're thinking of Luke Hornsby.
Oh, I am thinking of Hornsby. He has there's some Union stuff on Bennyworth's.
Yeah, there is.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I'll call it. I know what you mean.
Cycling further through, there's Damien Wong, quick driver. Had a good time in qualifying at Montreal. Currently in 6th place. Actually, let's stick with Wong and cycle through some of these cameras. Let's go on board with him. That's a helicopter shot. That's a big helicopter shot. Damien Wong working here in the 888. Can he get an improvement here from 6th on the grid? I'd say he's 0.9 of a second off Matt Isherwood's provisional pole time at the moment. Quite a long lap, of course, here at Silverstone for the MX-5. It's longer than we saw with Montreal in round 1 and Laguna Seca in one of the test events. And Wong stays where he is. He's actually just been pipped down into 7th place as Josh Ladd has gone quickest of all. Now here's a livery. In fact, here is the man, Josh Ladd. I'm loving this livery. We always like a bit of Lego, but the number 12, resplendent there in its new setup, and it's serving Josh Ladd very quickly because, as I say, he's gone into pole position. It's just a 10th ahead of Matt Isherwood at the moment. What do you think of that one, Howard, if it's appeared on your screen yet?
Oh, mate, it's so my favourite childhood toy was Lego, so I am loving it. I am absolutely loving that livery. I I mean, hopefully the car doesn't fall apart quite as well as some of my models did, but you know, no, that's great, isn't it? I'm loving some of these liveries. I feel the game has been stepped up since round number 1.
The game's been stepped up, and I've also made sure that I've downloaded an update of training paints this time round, because I got told off for that last time. Not doing that. Let's carry on. There's
I
Simon.
wasn't going to mention that one.
We're nice and honest here. We make mistakes. We make mistakes. There's already been mistakes on this stream tonight. 20. Simon Young, one of our drivers who's really developed on across the course of the COVID-19 lockdown. Hadn't picked up iRacing before he started in this championship, so he's doing very well. He's currently in 10th place, 1.2 seconds off Josh Ladd's pole position time, and I think this is him on his 3rd and final lap. So we'll see what this time is for Simon Young, coming through Albon Send corner after last weekend and a cross start finish. Don't think he quite improves though this time around. Stays on a 1 minute, 1.2 seconds. Needs to sort this out. I've not actually got the live times on the screen. The live timings. The actual lap times on the screen. We'll get that fixed for next time.
But yeah, experienced driver though, of course, in Club 100 circles. Been doing it since almost since the turn of the century. I'm not sure if he'll thank me for saying it, but apparently first got involved in BUKC in 2002. So very very experienced.
Century. I thought you meant like he, you know, was back in the times where they wore massive hats and had big moustaches.
No, we've had a century since then. Also, if that were the case, Club 100 has, I mean, Club 100 does have an illustrious history, but way more than I anticipated.
Here's Tom Banks, local to this circuit, lives just down the road with Lindsay and the cat, Kimmy the cat. And he's not done any practice, so we're playing down expectations for the player's car tonight, the number 18. It's looking pretty tidy at the moment, and I can tell you that there's a bunch of people who've completed their qualifiers because their presences on JRT have disappeared. Don't worry, we know it's Josh Ladd in pole position, Matt Isherwood second on the grid.
This isn't some weird form of elimination qualifying where literally names disappear.
There's Mark Cuthbert. I'm just trying to find where Piers Pryor is. The number. Oh, there's Craig Brown in the wall. In fact, I think that's there's Piers. So Piers, in his colours of bright pink and blue and a little bit of white. He's qualified 3rd at the moment. I think he's just practicing his starts at the moment, which he's still allowed to do because he's on the screen, or he's on his own little bit of the lobby. He's not going to be rear-ended by anybody there. Here's Kireth. Don't think Kireth's set a time yet in his number 46. But a great supporter of the channel here. Watches every stream. I don't know why. There's clearly better Gran Turismo sport players out there, but he's always lending a hand and lending support.
Well, you know, maybe his criteria for choosing isn't to find the best in terms of drivers, mate.
He loves the banditry. I reckon that's
I have a funny feeling I was supposed to say something more defensive and supportive of your driving in that instance.
But he's not actually said a lap time yet, so we'll stay with Kareth because I think he's going to be one of the last drivers to complete a lap time. I'm just going to take JRT away because it's not really telling us anything at the moment. Through this section of Maggots and Beckett's, to say Howard's favourite, not Danny Kvyat's favourite though after the weekend, or shall we say Danny Kvyat's rear right tyre, which decided to go full nope and bail out of being Formula 1 tyre at the weekend. Not long of this session to go. What did you think of the Grand Prix? I know we've discussed it a bit on the podcast episode, Howard. What were your thoughts generally of the Grand Prix on Sunday?
I thought it was a better race than Hungary. It was I mean, it was in some ways classic Silverstone. Silverstone does have a really good hit rate, I think, on throwing up an interesting Grand Prix, and we certainly got that. Towards the end, of course, if you haven't seen it yet, then you should probably not be listening to a conversation about it. But you know, it all crescendoed quite nicely, perhaps more so than anyone had intended. Yeah, it was a really interesting. I find that this season, I think, is really fascinating, mate. I find that drivers seem to be finding it harder to sort of gather momentum, if you like, as in. There are some drivers who are sort of blowing hot and cold between each of the races. I don't know if it's just, you know, the psychology of having sat dormant for a few months, and the sort of uncertain nature of the season. Heck, we don't even know how much longer it's going to go on for. But either way, it's producing some really, really interesting races where people seem to be rolling the dice a bit more and you know, trying new things out. So yeah, I really liked it, and I thought it produced some great battles.
I've just had a text from one of the drivers. Don't text and drive, children. From Banks. He says, I don't like these super wide tracks. Where are the trees? Where are the ditches? Get on with it. It's not our fault. It's not Hicks's fault that you haven't practiced. But there we go. There we go. Qualifying is done.
We've chosen not to do the Silverstone Rallycross loop, haven't we?
We haven't indeed. Just bear with us a moment. I think we're getting ready for the race. You can see number 8 there. Just trying to find where pole is. Let's get pole. There's the pole, or the front row of the grid. Timing's just resetting at the moment to confirm who we've got on the grid here for the start of this race. We're missing a pole sitter at the moment. You can see Steve Hicks there in the Halfords liveried car. He's qualified well. Matt Isherwood up there as well, as we mentioned. P2, Josh Ladd on pole position. So we've not got long to go then before we start this race. You can see the other drivers forming onto the grid. Piers Pryor is qualified in 3rd place. 50 seconds before this race begins. Keep your comments coming in. Let us know who you're supporting. Howard's going to keep an eye on those comments. If you're enjoying the stream so far, do give us a subscribe. Click that notification bell as well, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. Hicks is the only comment so far, folks. I mean, obviously he's going to, and we must give him credit, of course. He is mega keen, and we're indebted to him, of course, for being instrumental in getting this series together. But yeah, show the love, folks. Let's get your comments coming in. Let us know if you're here to support someone in particular.
Simon Young has joined the grid there in 5th place on the grid. We're ready then here at Silverstone for race number 1 in the iRacing Legends of BUKC and Club 100 Championship, and away we go indeed for the start of the race. Good start for everybody at the front of the field. Josh Ladd will lead it into turn 1 though. Piers Pryor looking around the outside of Matt Isherwood for 2nd place, with Steve Hicks forming in behind there in 4th. But it's a clean start for everyone at the front of the field. But an especially good one there as Piers Pryor's looking down the inside into the first of the new, I still call it the new section of Silverstone, through the loop and onto the Wellington straight we go then. It is going to be Josh Ladd in the number 12 leading from Matt Isherwood there in the number 61, Piers Pryor in the number 99. Great start for Simon Young. He's got up to 4th. There's already been a crunch for Steve Hicks. He's got damage to the front of his ND Mazda MX-5. Daniel Taylor trying to go down the inside as well. Damien Wong in the battle in the 888, and then it's Melvin just behind him there in the number 27. But good start for those at the front of the field, Howard. Piers Pryor is really challenging Matt Isherwood. An impressive start for Simon Young as well, getting there up to 4th.
Yeah, absolutely good start for him. And we were talking about how Josh Ladd looking to make amends for not the best finish to round 2. Good that he's had the dream start so far, but still obviously a long way to go.
There's a long way to go indeed. 10 laps around this Silverstone Circuit, or 30 minutes, depending on what happens with the weather. But I don't think it's going to rain here tonight at Silverstone. We see Piers Pryor, as we say, fresh off a debut win in his first weekend. Oh, it's a mistake from Mish, and he's going to run wide, and he's nearly going to get collected. He's just about saved it. There he is, recovering, but he's lost a lot of positions there. Potentially gone down, I think, to about 10th place, maybe even more yet, beyond out the top 10. There's James de Havilland coming past in the Jaguar, the mid-2000s Jaguar style livery from Formula 1. And just behind as well, I think we can see Rob Newman catching up. Yep, there he is in the number 80 with the orange wheels, orange helmet. Tom Dix just behind him as well. What's going on up at the front? There's a whole plethora of cars running here as Mike Hart runs wide. Nearly does a Magnussen. Nearly gets collected by not Alex Albon, I mean Tom Edwards there in the number 58, and Mark Cuthbert's just behind as well, sticking it up the inside, trying to do what Pierre Gasly did to Lance Stroll later in the race on Sunday. Some great racing so far tonight here at Silverstone. Side by side are James de Havilland and Mark Cuthbert. Matt Isherwood trying to work his way back through. Oh, there's a Ben and Jerry's car in the middle of the road, and it's number 27. Melvin.
That's one heck of a place to put an ice cream van, Andrew.
That is not where we wanted to have some ice cream sales at all, right in the middle of Village Corner, or the run between Village and the Loop. But there we go, that is damage then to the front there of that Mazda MX-5. Look at them fanning out as they go down into the sequence of corners, Brooklands and Luffield, and then Woodcote to finish.
Hello to Elaine, wishing good luck to Jack Smith. He's running okay at the moment in the number 16. Just trying to work his way up the order. I think he's just off the board to the left of your screens, but he is not doing too badly so far.
He's doing pretty well indeed. Oh, there's been some contacts further ahead. Matt Isherwood, I think, may have been involved. The number 52 of Jacques Jensen has got Mike Hart up alongside there. Oh, apologies. There is Tom Banks, who is at the back for some reason. He's a long way off the back, so something has happened to Banks there that's put him off the back of the order. There's Matt Hale in the number 8. He's just behind the pack there, so he's still looking for a decent result. James Ibram also has had problems. He is towards the back of the field. They're just trying to find where the leader is at the moment. There's JJ Aston. Ben and Jerry's car of Harry Melvin is starting to recover. Kirith Kalirai there in 19th. Aidan Bliss currently having a fight with, I think that's Craig Brown in the number 7. Yes, it is. James de Havilland as well. James de Havilland falling down the order, so I think some drivers are having to pit. There's Josh Wellard, the number 25. As in the wall. Who was that? That looked like Rob Newman. Oh, and there's more chaos as Mike Hart has spun round. I realise what's going on here. It keeps going to the safety car. Higgsy, I told you to turn the safety car off. But chaos reigns in the middle of the pack then, number 52. Jack Jensen down the inside of Josh Wellard there. That's over 12th position. Hellman's Mayonnaise, sponsors of Ben Bennyworth, has got up to 11th place. Tom Edwards just behind there in the number 58, and Mark Cuthbert, Tom Dix. There is Matt Isherwood. He's flown up the road now and is up to 7th place in the Year One Racing liveried machine. Great bunch of guys at Year One Racing. There's also an Alpha Live logo on the back of there. They're sneaking in. Congratulations to Alpha Live, of course. Achieved the quite big milestone of 10,000 subscribers on YouTube at the weekend. Whilst we were covering Super 1 at Wilton Mill and Kartmasters as well at PF International. Which reminds me, I had a text earlier from the boss. JV has been in contact. The PFI 6 hour, a few weekends away, 23rd of August. There are two spaces for teams of 2 to 4 drivers to join us for the PF International 6 hour, the non-championship event for Club 100 this year. So if you do want to get involved, you've got a team, get on the phone to the Club 100 office and get your entry in for PF International. We're both going to be doing it. It's going to be great.
It is. Really looking forward to that one, mate. It's quite fitting that Club 100 does a sort of special event to mark it going over to PFI, and I have to say I'm so happy, obviously, with all the various restrictions that have gone down over the course of this season. I'm so glad that we're still able to do that special event.
We are indeed. Here's a great battle. Simon Young on the back of Daniel Thomas and Steve Hicks. He's not crashed. This is improvement. This is step
don't say
forward.
that.
Simon Young looking down the inside of Thomas there for 4th place, side by side through Village Corner. Did he get the move done? Yes, he did get the move done. That was really, really good stuff from Young, who's really impressing me so far this season. There is Craig Brown trying to close in on Aidan Bliss. Other public service announcement, E60 Championship this weekend at Buckmore Park. So in the slot where you'd normally have the Teams Endurance Championship, but of course that's sadly cancelled for 2020. 4 places left. So if you want to take part in the Ironman style 60-minute race on Sunday morning at Buckmore Park, again, get in contact with the Club 100 office, www.club100.co.uk for all the details. There are spaces going side by side here. The number 2 of Mark Cuthbert and the 22 of Tom Dix. Going past the still standing, still used, and still very homely now National Pits complex, where the Formula 1 teams used to be back in the day. Is up the inside into Copse Corner. Looks Mark Cuthbert. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. Really good stuff here. The fast-flowing nature of Silverstone really suiting a lot of the cars today. There's Jack Jensen, who's currently unfortunately down in 23rd position. Tom Banks recovering there into 22nd. So quite a few drivers, big drivers. Mike Hart you see down there as well in 21st. Towards the bottom of the order with work to do. Just trying to look out at the moment for, there he is, number 60. He's just come into pit lane.
Shout out to Joshua. Oh, sorry, mate.
Yep, number 60, sorry, just getting the name right. Andrew English, the new driver in there.
Shout out to Joshua on YouTube, supporting Damien Wong. Not doing too badly so far, they're in 6th place. Do keep your comments coming in, let us know who you are supporting. Or if you're just here to see what's going down, say hi. And yeah, any questions as well, we'll do our best with those.
Any requests as well, if you want more cars and less us, we can do that. Matt
There's some
Isherwood.
requests we won't do. We won't sing. I don't think we'll sing.
No. We're not doing that. Here's Matt Isherwood closing in on Damien Wong. So this is over 6th place. So it's been a good recovery drive this for Mish. Was up in 2nd place, had the problem on lap 1. Didn't get hit though, didn't collide with anything. So he's still running strong here. Battle still raging on though, involving Daniel Thomas Simon Young and Steve Hicks. I thought they were going to go 3 wide then into Magnus. That generally doesn't work. Rob Newman is a lap down, unfortunately, and going off. Oh, a rare mistake there from Rob Newman. Here's Piers Pryor, though. Definitely showing those talents. He is accustomed to iRacing, of course, was involved in the BRDC's Formula 3 eSports Championship whilst the season was postponed due to COVID-19. So he has been practicing. He is knowledgeable with iRacing as a simulator, but he really is putting Josh Ladd under a lot of pressure here. As they go into Club Corner. And as we head on to lap number 6 now. Still here in race number 1 of 3. And remember, of course, Howard, we saw a bit of chaos caused by it at Montreal, but the next race, race number 2, should be a complete reverse of the result that we get here in this first race. How do you think the drivers who maybe got caught out by that last time are going to treat this race start in race 2 a little bit differently? Wider track, of course.
Wider track indeed, and yeah, it's one of those interesting ones. It's interesting how we're talking, for example, about how Matt Isherwood is doing a recovery drive. He is, of course, deducting himself places on the grid for race number 2.
Yes.
Such is the way that this works. But they've just got to. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but they have just got to go for it with this one. You know, we've got some interesting. I think what's standing out to me, mate, is we haven't got. I know there's a bit of field spread in this race, but it's not like the drivers towards the back, as you say, are necessarily drivers who are going to be slow. You know, Mike Hart, who had the incident earlier on, he's now going to be towards the front of that field, unless, of course, he recovers some more positions in this one. So it's a golden opportunity for him, and they've just got a, you know, wider track, as you say. So how wide can you make your car? You know, if you're a driver who maybe on raw pace would expect to maybe not end your second race as high up as you start it, you've got to go super defensive. But we saw some interesting defence in the Grand Prix on Sunday. I'm sure they'll have taken some tips from some of the driving that they saw. I'll just say, I don't think I've ever heard you say Rob Newman a lap down. I don't think I've heard that sentence.
Maybe in a British 24, in a BUKC or British 24 hour. I think I've said it at one point in a BUKC 24 hour.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Very rare in a race length such as this. Just to let you know, JJ Hastings just made a move on Harry Melvin for 16th place. Let's look a little bit further back. Hicks up the inside of Simon Young. This 3 keep fighting, and I think they're going to fight all the way to the end because they've got a good gap over Matt Isherwood behind you. Just caught the sight of the Year 1 Racing entry there as Hicks looks down the inside. Simon Young doing a brilliant job with the defensive driving here, locks it down, but makes a little bit of a mistake, and Hicks has gone underneath him and got through and into 3rd place. Daniel Thomas has followed through as well for 4th position. Over start finish they come. Can Simon Young fight back here to try and take that 4th place or maybe even 3rd place back here at Silverstone? I'll leave them to it. Let's have a look further back. Oh, has Mish had some more contact with something? Was that just damage that we saw from earlier in the race? There's Damien Wong having a clean race here. Didn't have the best of luck at Montreal, as we mentioned earlier. So it's good to see him here getting some good points on the board. There's Mark Cuthbert. The very nice livery on his machines, but I love the attention to detail on some of the liveries here tonight. Loving that number 2.
Just as we're heading towards the final stage of this race, Matt, I do want to give a shout. We've had plenty more comments in. Do keep them coming in. Hello to Chirag Vadir, excuse me, who's bringing some support for our race leader at the moment, for Josh Ladd. He is under pressure a little bit. Or he's under significantly less pressure, actually, isn't he now? The gap's gone out quite a bit.
Yeah, something's happened there to Piers Pryor as Matt Hale's gone round as well in the number 8, just coming out of Village, giving it the full Terry Grant there. but has got going again. Let's try and find where the leaders are. There's James Ibram. There is the leader, and there's Piers Pryor. So yeah, he's lost a lot of time there. Not quite sure what's happened to Piers, but he has dropped back now some 8 seconds or so behind the leader. Still this battle for third place raging on though. Daniel Thomas in the slipstream of Steve Hicks as they go down the Hanger Straight. Hicks making his intentions very, very clear, unlike certain GPDA presidents. Making sure he sticks down the inside, and Thomas is trying to get that move around the outside. That would be a great manoeuvre if he can do it. They're still going to be side by side. But the inside will be given to Thomas this time around, and yes, he has got the move done. So Daniel Thomas gets up to third place there ahead of Steve Hicks. Simon Young is still in there though, sticking it to these other drivers and not wanting to give these positions up. This is great stuff from Simon. He may even give a little bit of a bump draft to Hicks as they go down into Abbey. And but getting alongside, almost making a bit of contact. It's getting a bit touring cars out there, and Simon Young spins out of the race, or out of the contention for the top three. He's going to have to reverse it, but he's going to lose a lot of positions there. And well, he had a good run there, Howard, but I think that was a little bit eager from Simon Young to try and overtake on the kink approaching village.
Yeah, not conventional, is it? Not conventional, and of course in these cars you can really well, as we just seen, induce the spin there, get a bit of instability through a corner that fast. We've got predictions coming in though as well now on comments. Prediction from Bonsai Masters that Isherwood will get third. So there it is, it's been called, and we've got a couple more tours of the circuit in which to find out.
He has been catching the last couple of laps. He really has been closing in. Here we are with Matt Isherwood. He's going on to the National Straight now. Steve Hicks just ahead of him there in fourth in the Halfords car, and then Daniel Thomas another place ahead.
We know he has the pace, mate, don't we? Because of course he's on the recovery drive, but he was until the incident that put him down to, was it about 10th, 11th place? He was right up there, running on pace. So he's definitely got the fast force to get by. I've just made up a phrase there. That's what I think. The speed to get by.
Coming through Beckett's corner. Well, the last part
still
of
plenty
Beckett's.
Sorry, mate. Still plenty of comments coming in. Brutal Reapers came in with support for Harry Melvin. Down there in 16th place at the moment. I want to go dancing, says, come on James Ibram, what happened? He's not having the best one, but bear in mind that means he's going to be towards the front of the grid for the next one. So there's hope for salvaging something good out of this round, most certainly with the next race.
Jim Carno has come to Silverstone as Craig Brown and I think it was Aidan Bliss, a kiss from Bliss there, and Aidan Bliss has come off decidedly worse from that and has fallen down a number of positions. Flashing there through the Beckett's complex. I'm just trying to find where Harry is at the moment. There he is. I mean, this definitely is a contender for livery of the day, the Ben and Jerry's machine. Don't worry about the cars disappearing. That's at my end. That's my bad. But Mike Hart just behind Melvin as well. So he's still plugging away in there in 17th place, but the car probably not at its best, and in fact is coming into the pits for some tender loving care there. Down the inside, number 60, Andrew English, side by side with Mike Hart. Might get it forced out wide there. Oh no! As Mike Hart's going to be almost in the gravel. Gets tipped round by Andrew English. Well, this hasn't been the best of races for Mike Hart round Silverstone for this first part of the evening. At least he's going to have a good grid slot for race number 2 in the meme car. But yeah, that was not the best moment for Mike here. In fact, I thought for a moment then that English had let him back through, but that's not the case. There is Matt Hale. Pulling back here is a good battle for 21st position. Jack Jensen and Tom Banks there. Just trying to find where our leader is at the moment, the number 12. There he is, Josh Ladd. He's about to go on to his final lap of the race. Heading down the hanger straight for the penultimate time. And this has been a fairly straightforward one for him, Howard. I mean, we saw this from Josh Ladd in the first couple of races at Montreal, before it then stacked up against him in the final race, in the partial reverse grid. This will do him some good getting this win and winning by such a margin, assuming he can get round this final lap.
Yeah, the form's not surprising given how well he raced at Montreal, but nevertheless, as you say, to have this gap in hand, he'll absolutely take that one, won't he? And something for him to carry forward. Going to be fascinating as well to see him coming through the field, of course, in race number 2.
Just caught a sight there of the pink machine driven by Piers Pryor, so he's still there in second place. In fact, actually, let's cut back a little bit because I think there's some battling going on for third place, or getting close. Yes, Matt Isherwood is getting very close. He's got past Steve Hicks, so the prediction of Mish for third could still be coming true here. They go down the Wellington Straight. There is the gap to Thomas in the number 41 just ahead. The livery akin to the Lotus Formula 1 cars in the late 80s and the early 90s. And look at Mish now, he really is closing in on Daniel Thomas. This was the point at which Lewis Hamilton's puncture started on Sunday. He had to drive all this way with 3 inflated tyres. I know how he feels, Howard. I once had to ride back from a night at the Guild of Students in Birmingham with a flat tyre. It was the worst bicycle ride of my life. That's exactly what I imagine it was like for Lewis Hamilton.
To anyone in the West Midlands area, I once got a flat tyre whilst riding over the top of the Clent Hills. That wasn't fun either. But yeah, I'm going to make up for my mistake earlier on with Welsh Unis, mate. There's a bit of a Swansea Cardiff derby going on here.
Yes.
Because of Daniel Thomas's affiliation with the Swansea stable, so there's a bit of a Welsh derby going on here.
And it's all going to come down to Stowe Corner potentially. We're going to stay with this. Don't worry, we're keeping an eye on Josh Ladd to win the races. Oh, on the grass almost is Mish there. Can he get it down the inside into Stowe Corner? He's going to have to be brave on the brakes. They're going to be side by side coming off of Stowe Corner. Oh, contact between the Cardiff and Swansea graduates there. It's going to be tight to the line, and Steve Hicks might still have a chance here. Thomas tries to throw one down the inside. Mish defends it though very, very well, and I think that is going to be third for Mish. There is Piers Pryor across the line in second place. Josh Ladd has won it, but look at this side by side over the line. Oh, Thomas just nicked it for fourth place ahead of Steve Hicks here, and here the banditry post-race begins. Don't worry, there'll be no penalties for this. Let's just cut back a little bit further, try and find some more cars coming over the line. There goes Harry Melvin. He's going to finish in 23rd place. Tom Edwards is going to get a top 10 here. So we've got a mix of cars finishing on the lead lap and a lap down. Craig Brown is going to be in 11th position, just ahead of James de Havilland. There he is. I do like that livery, the Jaguar livery. The big face and Aidan Bliss going to finish 13th place in the first race of the day. So in the middle of the grid for race number 2. Then it's Josh Wellard, JJ Aston, Kirith Calirai. Good finish for him. Mike Hart is in the pit lane. So he's trying to do maybe a Michael Schumacher 1998 and finish the race from the pit lane. Matt Hale gets the top 20. If he can navigate the last couple of corners, which I'm sure he will. Matt Hale and the G3 Pro machine, couple of them here tonight. Across the line, good points for Matt. 19th is going to be Jack Jensen. 20th, wrapping out that top 20, is going to be Mr. Banks, who's not respecting the track limits. That's terrible behaviour. Over the curb, there we go, and I think the one car that we've got left, or two cars that we've got left out there still running. Jack Smith, he's had some problems out there and is a couple of laps down. And James Ibram is still out there as well. So we'll just call them in over the line. But Josh Ladd, mate, that's another good win for him and some strong points to the start of his evening.
Absolutely is. It absolutely is, Andrew. And yeah, really good win there for Josh Ladd. That was just well controlled. Dealt with the pressure when there was pressure, but then managed to open up the gap. The antics, I'm going to make a slightly niche reference here, but the antics beyond the finish line there, mate, only slightly less chaotic than the car park that gets formed on that straight after a World Endurance Championship race. But no, a really good race to get us kicked off. Some really good battles there. And yeah, looking forward to the second one, of course, with that reverse grid.
Apologies for Nightbot. Nightbot is causing chaos again in the comments. Just ignore him. And don't use loads of capitals and don't use exclamation marks. He gets very, very triggered by that. But we're going to get ready for race number 2 then. This is going to be another 10-lap race. And reverse grid, of course. So those drivers that we've just called over the line are going to be pretty much at the front of the field. So Jack Smith will have pole position. Rob Newman. Oh, I see what he's done here. I see you, Newman. I see what you're doing there. You just want the front row, don't you? You just want it all the time. So that's going to be second place on the grid for Rob Newman. And away we go then for the start of the race. I think there was a jump start further towards the back of the grid, or maybe it's just Valtteri Bottas and he won't get a penalty. Who knows? But it's a really lightning start there for the white car at the front of the field. It's Damien Wong. So Damien Wong in the number 888 has got a fantastic start there. And he's going to lead Jack Smith into the loop and village corner for the first time in this race. Is anyone getting collected as they go through the order? No, I think they're all fine so far in this second race. And I spoke too soon because someone's getting shunted there. I think it was Josh Wellard. And they're nearly 3 wide as they come onto the Wellington straight. Tom Edwards and James de Havilland involved there with Aidan English in the number 60. Oh, round goes Mish! Mish makes another error on lap number 1. And I think there's been problems for Harry Melvin as well. Well, how about that? Another mistake from Mish on lap number 1 is going to leave him needing to do another one of these recovery drives. You can start to see now the sound of MX-5s being crunched here as the faster drivers start to come through the field. This is where it gets a little bit tasty. Oh, was that Simon Young in trouble there? No, he survived. He's held it alongside JJ Aston as they storm towards Copse Corner. Look at them filing into the fast right-hander. Very, very easy to lose the rear end of the car through there. Trying to see who's made the most progress. Oh, down the inside there was Mike Hart on Tom Banks and has gone through. Rob Newman trying to go around the outside of Mike Hart now. Bit of a wide line. It's not much grip out there. And another dramatic start there, Howard, for championship leader Matt Isherwood.
Yeah, absolutely. Likes to make life a bit hard for him, or likes to challenge, however you want to shape that. But yeah, uncharacteristic in many ways, and it's going to be interesting. He's got it all to do now, hasn't he? We'll see how he gets on. But again, we've got the ice cream van towards the back as well, which usually a crowd sort of swarms towards an ice cream van, but here he's got them all ahead of him.
Good moves being put in there by Jack Jensen in the number 52 coming through the field. He's got past Damien Wong there. He's got Jack Smith just ahead of him, but it's James Ibram who's going to lead at the end of lap number 1. 10 laps once again here at Silverstone. is the fight for second place as they go through turn number 2 into Village, which is my favourite part of the circuit, which may seem like a bit of an odd choice. It probably is. There's a little bit of sentimental value, I'll admit. It's where I sat to see my first bit of full-level international motorsport. The 1,000 kilometres of Silverstone back in 2010. Very good race start point as everybody piles into there as the first braking zone. Sometimes get a bit of drama if the wind gets up as well, as the prevailing wind goes across the circuit. Damien Wong trying to find a way back past Jack Jensen there. In fact, where's our leader gone? Where has James Ibrahim gone? He's slipped away here and has fallen to the back of the field, so not quite the back of the field. He's a little bit lower down through the top 10. That was a bit of a mistake though from Jack Smith. He's going to have to go to the inside. Jensen will look to the outside now as they approach Copse Corner. They're still side by side. This could get a little bit interesting. We saw 2 McLarens go side by side through here on Sunday. Jensen elects to just back out of it. Wong nearly gets caught out. Newman's still there in 4th place. Top 12 of this race, remember, get reversed when we go into race number 3. Great racing once again here in the Legends of Club 100 and BUKC iRacing MX-5 Championship, and through that was a great move from Damien Wong on the first part through Maggots. Very, very close indeed. You just see James Ibrahim in the background there in 5th place. Aidan Bliss behind him with that big old face.
I have to say, James Ibrahim's own profile did say loves to bottle a potential podium, so if nothing else, true to form, I think, for the Edinburgh BUKC driver.
Potentially so. Matt Hale, unfortunately, a little bit off the back. Ooh, Daniel Thomas has had problems as well. Look, he's down in 24th position at the moment. There's the next driver up ahead, James de Havilland in 23rd. Josh Wellard is missing an engine cover. We're just picking our way through the chaos now. Kirith Kalirai outside the top 20 at the moment. There's Tom Banks, who's going in the pit lane. So clearly problems for him. Good battle going on here between Tom Edwards and Simon Young. Both cars looking a little bit worse for wear there as they go through across to start their 3rd lap of the race. I hope you're enjoying the coverage here from Double Dash Motorsport Media. If you are, why not give us a subscribe? It really does help out the channel. Got more events such as these coming up through the rest of the year. 3 more rounds after this one. I'll be visiting, and let me get this right. We've got Spa, we've got Interlagos, and I've now typically forgotten the final race of the calendar. It's 2020. What even is a calendar anyway?
It's a good point, but I will try and find out for you.
In fact, because it was based on the Formula. That's it. Interlagos has got to go actually, because this was all based on the Formula 1 calendar. So we've got to drop Interlagos now. Can we
put Imola on?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Game?
I want to go to Imola.
Without the chicane. Oh, Simon Young getting really close there to the wall. And I just heard a crunch. I heard a crunch in my ears. Where was that crunch? Just trying to find where the leader is at this precise moment. Oh, there was Piers Price. Piers Price not having the best of races either. He's a little bit down the field. He's down in 19th place. Let's have a look at this battle then. Or maybe not, because it keeps cutting to the safety car. Apologies, folks. Camera work is a little bit shoddy tonight.
But you're missing round, sir. Sorry, you're missing round.
Sorry, Howard, we've got a crash happening that you'll see in about 10 seconds. Ben
Oh.
Pennyworth making contact with Matt Isherwood, or that might have been the other way around. And the poor innocent party in all of that was Mark Cuthbert. Mark Cuthbert is losing positions hand over fist now, is outside of the top 15. But sorry, my missing round. Which one have I forgotten?
I'm just taking in the wondrous beholding that crash. Suzuka.
Oh,
Suzuka,
of course,
of course.
Suzuka.
Classic. So we are going Spa, then Suzuka, and then Interlagos.
I knew we were finishing at Interlagos. There we go. So Spa's next. I've forgotten the date of it as well. Help me out here, Howard.
So Spa is going to be the 3rd of September.
Yep.
And then on the 14th of October, we are at Suzuka for round 4, and then it all finishes up on the 18th of November at Interlagos.
So there you go. If you were BUKC current and past, not quite future, you need to have raced in BUKC or Club 100, same, present or past.
And if you didn't note down those dates, what you need to do, of course, is not only subscribe to Double Dash Motorsport Media, but hit the notification bell, and then you don't have to worry about those dates at all. You'll just find out, you'll just be told, and it'll all be there for you. Or of course, give us a follow on Facebook as well. That's you'll also see not just this, but all of the things that we're getting up to, and I'm really happy to say that is an ever-increasing number of things, of course, as I keep on shaping it as if the motorsport world is waking up. It's woken up. It's woken up, and we are back racing, but plenty of stuff making up for some of the lost summer. I think so. Be sure to give us a like or subscribe on your social media platform of choice, and then you won't miss a thing. We got another prediction from Bonsai Masters, mate.
Go on.
It's that in this one that Josh Ladd is going to get a podium finish. Although, do we mention that technically the prediction in the last race that Isherwood would get the podium technically just fell short?
Well, I think you have now.
I have now. Mind you, it was very nearly correct as a prediction. You know, I'd go for the lottery numbers on that.
There's Steve Hicks, just ahead of Mike Hart. So Mike Hart's having a better race this time around. They're trying to close down Craig Brown at the moment, who's out there ahead of them.
Have we got a battle going on at the head of the field as well, mate? For the very lead of it, has that closed down a bit?
It has. Let's say, oh, as James Ibram is going backwards. Why is James Ibram going backwards? That is not good, and yeah, need to be careful with the rejoin there, James, but he's just about made it on. Let's try and get up to this battle at the front then. Hopefully it doesn't reset to the safety car again. As always, who was that? That was Damien Wong. Damien Wong was in trouble there as well. We just cycle through. There is Josh Ladd in 4th place. Here is a battle for 2nd place. So Rob Newman and Jack Jensen. They're a second behind Jack Smith at the moment, who is really holding his own here.
Yeah, that's big for Wong, of course, because he was in 2nd. So wonder what happened there, because he was right up at the sharp end.
It was indeed. Rob Newman trying to find his way past Jack Jensen now. Is he going to try and move into Cop's corner? No, thinks better of it. And that was probably quite a wise decision. The crowd's out in force here at Silverstone. All socially distanced, of course. I have to say though, Howard, I've clearly been doing too much Formula Student with the Assetto Corsa work, because I keep freaking out that there's not a billion cones on Cop's corner.
Yeah, we don't need cones here. What do you think this is? The M6? Sorry, it's the M1. It's the M1 these days, isn't it?
It is the M1. Why do you think I'm going up the A1 on Saturday afternoon?
Yes, exactly.
We should mention actually some big stuff coming this weekend. Oh, sorry, up the inside, Rob Newman nearly makes contact, maybe a little bit of contact actually with Jack Jensen there. Stay in 2nd and 3rd. Right, now we'll talk about this weekend before Newman sends it again. This weekend, British 24 Hour, mate. We've got a podcast coming out tomorrow, hopefully. Regards it, previewing it, but how much are you looking forward to that at the weekend?
Oh, massively, mate, massively. It is. It's. I mean, I say it's a unique event. Obviously, the 24-hour karting series is a series, but the British 24 hours, just because of the size of the venue that we're at, and the sheer number of teams that you have competing, just feels unique to me as an event. Multi-class racing, I love that, and you know, don't get too many opportunities to experience that in karting in this way either. So I always love that. Yeah, I think it was David Sullivan, wasn't it? One of our fellow commentators who I think in the podcast that we're sending out, or I can't remember if it was just before we went on air with talking to those guys in preparation for the episode, that he's never looked so much he doesn't look so much towards sleep depravity as he does with the 24 hours.
It was Butters.
It was Butters. Sorry, it was Butters. I know David feels the same way. I'll say that though. But yeah, so you know, we're all massively looking forward to it, and certainly be certain to join us this weekend, folks. It'll be Alpha Live who will be covering it, but we will be there for providing the voice to the action, as it were, during the 24 hours.
And possibly comms box can as well. We're working.
Possibly, we'll see. Bear with us. I was just saying, Bonzo Master says, "Keep up, lads." Ishwood got third in the last race. I'm right in that Daniel Thomas just pipped into the post, didn't he? For third in the last race.
No, he's right. Yeah, Mish did get third. Sorry.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, it was Thomas and Hicks over the line. It was very, very close.
Oh, Thomas and Hicks. Good point. My apologies, Bonzo Masters. That is.
Yeah. Mark Cuthbert leaves the scene. Stage left or right, one of the two. Apologies, we've now lost it. But it's not been such a good race for Mark Cuthbert. Hopefully he survived that one. Yes, he did. There he is. He's moving again in the number 2. Move's just been done for 6th place. Craig Brown got the spot ahead of Mike Hart.
Of course, that does mean that Bonzo Master's other prediction is also very close to suddenly becoming true, which was that Josh Ladd was going to get on the podium in this race. He's doing absolutely everything he needs to do to achieve that right now.
Let's try and find him then. There is Mish in 8th place now, with Mike Hart just ahead of him, who's trying to make a move on Craig Brown. Big bunny hop over the curb into Village there. If we just scroll a couple of positions ahead. Though I don't believe this. Is that a completely pristine Halfords liveried Mazda MX-5 piloted by Steve? That's the first time we've seen that this season, surely. Oh wait, hang on, the boot lid's a little bit bent. yeah, that boot lid's a little bit bent, but it's still being piloted very well by Steve Hicks. He's up in 5th place at the moment. Here is Josh Ladd then, closing in on Rob Newman. 3 laps to go. His timing has a bit of a wobble, don't worry about that. Josh Ladd there in 4th place. Gap is 2.5 seconds. And Jack Jensen and Rob Newman, I think they need to work together at this stage of the race, otherwise they're going to start getting caught by Josh Ladd. Himself has got a little bit of damage on the front left of the car. That's to be expected in a race number 2. Let's talk about the reverse, the partial reverse coming up in race number 3. At the moment, holding the crucial 12th place is Aidan Bliss. So Aidan Bliss would have pole position for the next race. Ben Bennyworth would be 2nd on the grid. This gap just coming down bit by bit. It's down to about 2.3 seconds now. He's closing at a rate which, with 3 laps after this one, he's going to be at least there or thereabouts on the tail end of Rob Newman. James Ibrahim has just got past for 12th place. That's actually, it's down the inside of Craig Brown goes Mike Hart. Gets a move done there for 6th place, and Mish is going to try and slip up the inside as well. You see, Alex Albon, are you watching? There you go. Nice bit harsh. Craig Brown is not Kevin Magnussen. He didn't just turn in on him. Where is our battle for 12th place? Here it is. Here's the crucial place that gets you pole position for the third and final race. So let's have a watch of this for a bit. It's Aidan Bliss and the Cardiff University Motorsport Club branded car there. I'm really impressed with that. That's some good work there from the Cardiff boys. So other BUKC teams, that's your benchmark now for joining the fun, which you still can, of course. If you're on Facebook, find the C100 iRacing page. All the details for getting involved in the championship are there. At the moment, Aidan Bliss is holding on to this position ahead of James Ibram, who also has a very nice livery, not least because it's got a bit of your work on it, Mr. Mitchell.
I know, I'm a big fan, loving the logo.
See it there, above the number 8. It's got a Club 100 logo on there as well, we appreciate that.
Yeah. But I have my favourite. Club 100 logo is great, but I have my favourite. That's all I'm saying.
Simon Young fighting there with Tom Edwards, that's over 14th place at the moment. Conscious though of our leaders. There's a good battle. There's good battles all over the circuit at the moment. Damien Wong and Tom Dix going at it here for 9th place. Mish trying to get past Craig Brown, who has been dropped by Mike Hart there. So Mike Hart's got up to 6th place, having a much stronger run this time around. There is Steve Hicks. Yeah, boot lid definitely bent there. That's gonna be at least £250 repair job. But how is Josh Ladd doing in comparison to that? He's definitely closing, you know, and second and third are fighting here, so that's going to encourage Josh Ladd to close. Oh, the leader's made a mistake. Oh no, Jack Smith has made a mistake and has got overtaken, spun around. Josh Ladd takes avoiding action around Jack Jensen, so the prediction has come true, but this could be more than a podium here for Josh Ladd, because there are the two leaders now. We didn't see what caused Jack Smith to lose all that time, but side by side through the first corner. What great racing here at Silverstone. Rob Newman just loses out there to Smith, slots back into second place. Is Josh Ladd now going to send it down the inside into Village? No, he just very, very nicely controls, backs it in. Now he's going to stick it down the inside into the loop. It's like Verstappen and Leclerc last year. This is brilliant stuff. Onto the Wellington Straight we now go. Rob Newman holding it in there. Still these four together. It could be any one of them taking the win here with 2 laps of this second race of the evening to go. Newman's got good power as they go down the Wellington Straight, but Josh Ladd's going to look down the inside now. Oh, there's contact, and Jack Jensen's going to run it in there as well and potentially spin out. Has he spun out? Oh, he's just about saved him, but he's lost a lot of time. But Josh Ladd up to second place. Do you think he can close in, Howard? Do you think the win's on here?
He's certainly got the pace to do it, hasn't he? He has had an absolutely monster drive up through the field as Josh Ladd. All the way from the back. And can he get this one last position done?
We'll have to wait and see. Keep your comments coming in. Ignore Nightbot. Maybe we should get that as a hashtag. Just ignore Nightbot.
I do have an option to report Nightbot, but I feel like if I do that, I'll open up a hole in the space-time continuum.
But when the bots start fighting each other.
Yeah.
Just over a lap to go then. A lap and, well, what, the hanger straight in the last couple of corners. Josh Ladd. The gap is 0.77 of a second between Jack Smith and Josh Ladd here. Remember, top 12 gets swapped around. That 12th position has changed hands again. James Ibram has got back into 12th place. Great battle going on there. It's going to be the difference between having pole in race number 3 and being in the midfield for the start of that last race of the evening.
I have to say, not quite sure what happened to Henry Melvin further down the order, mate. He was previously just beginning to threaten that final race pole. He was sort of 13th, 14th place, but unfortunately the Ben and Jerry's liveried car seems to have fallen down the order somewhat in this race.
Yeah, he might not be running. He might have some lengthy repairs and be in the pit lane. But we're on the last lap now. Can Josh Ladd take his second win of the evening, or can Jack Smith take his first victory of the season in the Ario International liveried car there? This is where Josh Ladd is particularly strong as they come onto the Wellington straight. Got by Rob Newman last time down here. Jack Jensen's had a problem. He's fallen down to 5th place, so Steve Hicks is up to 4th. We're going to stay with the two leaders. Josh Ladd darts to the inside on the brakes, then heavy on the brakes on the inside, but Smith's going to try and run it around the outside here. But through goes Josh Ladd, very, very calmly judged there. And is tonight going to be the night where Josh Ladd takes the round win? He has been here before, won one of the early races at Montreal in the big battle he had with Matt Isherwood that night, before having problems in third and final race, finishing a little bit further down the order. I tell you what, Jack Smith is not giving this one up here. He's not allowing Josh Ladd to romp away as they go into Maggots and Beckett's for the last time in this race. There's a big opportunity for Smith to get a move done if he can keep up that rear axle of Ladd and get a bit of a slipstream down the Hanger Straight, send one into Stowe. This is very, very tense stuff here at Silverstone. Once again, really glad we raced here, but decided to race around this circuit here tonight because it's served up 2 brilliant races so far, and this one's not done here. Ladd will surely have to go defensive. Has he got the power to keep away from Jack Smith there? I think he has, actually. That's a really good run down the Hanger Straight, and he's only got a couple of corners to go now to make it 2 wins out of 2. There's moves still going on further down the order as well, as Matt Isherwood has got through into 6th place. That's Matt Hale just getting out of the way. Good driving there from Matt, but round the final couple of corners, this is a great victory from the back of the grid. Josh Ladd takes race 2 here at Silverstone this evening. Across the line, a little bit of a wiggle. Fantastic stuff from him. And well, Howard, that's a fantastic victory for Josh Ladd. And over the line, Rob Newman takes 3rd place. 4th place for Steve Hicks. 5th place for Jack Jensen. 6th for Mike Hart. But a really good race that from the drivers. Some very impressive drives through the field.
Yeah, that felt like it had slightly fewer incidents as well. Not no incidents. Let's not get ahead of ourselves as we see the usual antics post finish line as well. But what a drive from Josh Ladd! What a drive! I mean, mate, back when you and I were kids first playing with Lego, the slogan for it was "Just imagine." Just imagine what this guy could do in the final this evening.
And he's going to have to do it from 12th place on the grid, as we say. That 12th place in race 2, crucially, went to James Ibram. So, James, you've got pole position, mate, for the final race of the evening. You're watching live coverage of round 2 of the iRacing Legends of Club100 and BUKC Mazda MX-5 Championship, exclusively brought to you by Double Dash Motorsport Media. We're going to just find where the cars are as we should be going, I think, into a slight pause for a moment where we're going to have some practice out there on the circuit.
A very nice evening sunset hue that the sky has taken on around the circuit, which I quite like.
But yeah, we're going to take a short break here on the commentary. Be back in a couple of minutes' time for the 3rd and final race of the evening. Keep it locked here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. We, as we say, will be back very, very shortly. Welcome back, everybody, to live coverage here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel of the second round of our iRacing Championship for Club 100 and BUKC drivers past and present in the Mazda MX-5s. My name's Andrew Mather. Howard Mitchell is with me once again as we've got a bit of a warm-up session going on at the moment for the third and final race of the evening. We catch a glimpse of Silverstone in all its glory, Howard, as we're watching from the blimp of not just the Grand Prix track, but the Stowe Circuit down there. Is the Stowe Circuit one that you've frequented?
I've driven around Stowe Circuit in a Renault Zoe, of all things.
Of course you have. I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, no, it was great fun. It was great fun. Also, one of the are we allowed to mention any other sims on this one? But
yes, we are.
The real racing room, real R3R. That's him. Stowe Circuit is, of course, one of the included tracks, isn't it? When you first get the game, so. It's my go-to run something very quickly around it to see what a car is like. I just draw attention here to a comment coming in from Steve Hicks, mate. I think, let's quote this, I think that's my first race with no damage all season. Yes, Queen, now watch this. I'm not sure. Didn't we spot some damage, mate? I don't want to rain on his parade.
I think there was damage to the rear, just on the boot lid there. But that could have been caused by somebody else, unless Hicks has been driving around backwards again.
I mean, depending on how you cut it, isn't the majority of the damage caused by somebody else? In a sort of it takes two to tango way.
Sometimes, yeah, but there's been some incidents that have just been straight on Hicksy. He won't mind me saying that.
I think I can see the place I camped for the 2005 British Grand Prix from these shots.
Now, that's a good one. Where is there anything? Now we're facing the wrong way for bits of Silverstone that I've camped at. For former students and things. Hello to Matt Hale. I can see on my screen at the moment. I've done 3 iRaces and they've all been streamed by the Double Dash Legends. Good practice for the 24-hour race at the weekend. Absolutely. Good to hear that you're going to be part of it. So we've got a couple of minutes. Don't worry, you're not missing anything at the moment. I just installed Silverstone. Oh dear. Jack Smith got a slowdown as well. I've just seen that on the comments. I don't normally be able to see this whilst we're racing because it gets covered by time. I need more screens. In DDMM HQ. But yeah, do keep. I've not done my list of thanks for subscribers to the channel over the past few days or since we last did one. So big thank you to Grubby Mango, Lloyd McGeek Williams. Club 100 driver, thank you for subscribing. Zach Panel, Gary Clapson, Mad to Race 1. They're all people who've subscribed over the past few weeks and days. And apologies if you have streams tonight and your name's not come up on the thing. I don't think it's quite working tonight, the live tracker. But we're getting very, very close then to the end of this practice session. There you see Matt Hale's car in the pit lane. Nice and calm at this stage of proceedings. I'm realising I'm pressing the wrong buttons again. There's the blimp camera. Great podium here, we've got to say, at Silverstone. It's one of the bits of the wing that I really, really like, Howard. You know, from where they went from the national pits up to this section. It has its criticisms, the wing. Its accessibility sometimes isn't as good as perhaps it should be, but in terms of an impressive end of race podium, I really, really like this one.
Oh, totally. And I think I have to say as well, that was one nice thing, wasn't it, with the Grand Prix at the weekend, is that they did still utilise that in a way that they weren't doing doing podiums back at the Red Bull Ring at the start of the season. No, so it is a great place. Obviously, there are some weekends as well when the wing is all opened up and stuff. It's also I've been there just for sort of general conference events and stuff as well. It's just a fantastic facility that they have there. But yeah, the podium is fantastic. I should say, by the way, it's R3E. We should give proper credit to the any of the sims that we mentioned, because people watching this may be interested in trying sims out. Race Room Racing Experience is the sim that I was talking about, where the Stowe Circuit is packaged with the base game. But right now, we are all about the iRacing, mate.
We are indeed.
As they line up.
They are lining up indeed for the start of this third and final race. 10 laps once again around the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit for what's come up on my screen as the feature race. My goodness, it's like the BTCC. James Ibrahim is on pole. There he is. You can just about see him behind timing tower, with the revs rising here at Silverstone, ready to go for this final race of the evening. Away they do go. And it's a good start from those at the front of the field. It's a very good start for Matt Isherwood, you see there in the number 61, sprinting through the order. Into turn one they go. Are they all going to get through? Damien Wong's had a good start there in the 888. Into the first braking zone for this one. Down the inside there, going the number 22 of Tom Dix on Wong. And I think they have just about got through Village for the first time relatively clean. As a little bit of bumping and barging there, and Mish is off to driver's right. Josh Ladd started to come through the field already. Piers Pryor is involved in the number 99. And where is Mish going in the background? I think he just wants to really do a lot of overtaking this evening. He's slipped towards the back of the field there. They're 3 wide, nearly 4 wide, as they go braking at the end of the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. 3 wide there with Hicks and Pryor on the outside of Edwards. But so far, Howard, a fairly clean affair. I think pretty much everyone apart from Mish is still running.
Yeah, absolutely. Isherwood just going for the challenge again, mate. He's lulling everyone into a full sense of security, I'm sure.
Back at the front of the field then, James Ibrahim still leads in his number 8 machine, ahead of the number 22 there.
I have another prediction from Bonsai Masters, and this one I
love them. Keep them coming.
readily believe Isherwood crashes out again is the prediction for this race. I'm just saying, so far with a 100% success record as Bonsai Masters.
Here. James Ibrahim leading them from Tom Dix. Damien Wong still there in 3rd. Ben Bennyworth 4th. Mike Hart's 5th. Remember, the top 12 of this of the second race, the race that we had about 10 minutes ago, they've been reversed and gridded up from 1 to 12, and then if you are P13 and downwards, you start from that same position. So James Ibrahim, having won that battle against Aidan Bliss some 15 minutes ago, at the moment using that to great effect here at Silverstone. As they come around to finish lap number 1 of 10.
Support coming in. Hello to Kate. Support coming in for Kireth Kalarai for this final race of the night. In the lower teens at the moment. See how that progresses.
Yeah, Kireth a really good driver, not only on iRacing but on GT Sports as well. Big thanks to everyone, including Kireth. To say he's a regular viewer. And James Ibrahim is going to be, clouted in the rear there by Damien Wong. He lost it, as, my goodness me, that's going to be a close one. And I think he did clip at least one car there. He lost it just on the exit of Village. And then Damien Wong was in the wrong place at the wrong time, as who else is that off in the background? And just clouted into James Ibrahim, and Craig Brown's now clouted into him as well and gone off to driver's right. So there's a couple of drivers who've got caught up there. Kireth's got problems as well. He's got engine problems. You can see the smoke pouring out the back of his car, blinding Andrew English there, who could barely see. He's gone that far off. He's done a Kimi Raikkonen and is into the wall there. So a lot of chaos here on lap number 2. What this all means is that our new leader is Tom Dix, but there's drivers coming through the field. That's Tom Banks there in 13th place now, looking on for a good one here. Good gaggle of drivers coming out of Copse Corner. Mark Cuthbert at the back of the train, involving Harry Melvin. And then Daniel Thomas, Steve Hicks, as who's that running wide? Oh, it's Wong, and Wong's being dodged by pretty much the whole field. Tom Banks goes round the outside of him there. So Wong not having such a good second lap of the race as they go down the hanger straight. Harry Melvin has got his Ben and Jerry's. He's now going to look down and try to spoon in a move on Steve Hicks. Well, he's gone past Pierce Price there. As Pierce Price got a problem, he's very slow down the hanger straight. And number 52 of Jack Jensen, who had a strong second race of the evening, has just been overtaken as well. Oh, as Melvin runs a little bit deep there. You know, we often see the first lap, Howard, be the chaotic one. Not this time round. It was lap 2 where it's all went down.
Yeah, it just had a bit of a warm-up lap on lap 1. Clearly, yeah, it was just putting the torque down out of the slow speed corner at Village for Ibram, and it just seemed to domino effect from there. Obviously, not the only thing that happened there, as you're saying, Calarai with potential engine problems and such. But yeah, unusually chaotic for a second lap, to say the very least. But not too much field spread at the moment, mate. You can get all these battles that can lead to these kind of incidents.
Here's your leader, Mike Hart, 1.1 seconds clear of Tom Dix now. But Ben Benworth trying to look down the inside of Tom Dix for second place. Two livery styles here that are the same. Obviously, you can see the patterns the same, just different colour schemes used. Tom Dix preferring Logitech as opposed to Hellmann's. And bit of sim racing news today. Logitech have got a new wheel out, looks very interesting. And I'm also very glad to hear, Howard, that PS4 wheels will be compatible with PS5. Hooray!
Hooray!
No need to spend more money.
Why? Although, above all, mate, my main takeaway from what you said is this is the first sim racing stream I've ever heard where someone has opted for Logitech over Hellmann's. I'm not aware of anyone who uses Hellmann's sources to control sim racing, but
now steady, where's this going?
That was all in your mind. I'm sure maybe Mr. Bennyworth knows that Hellmann's makes racing wheels and nobody else does. Who knows? Be an interesting entrant into the market as we continue with this final. Slightly calmer lap this one, mate. Although that's it wasn't hard to beat the previous lap for calmness.
I was going to say there's almost a bit of a DRS train forming, but we've got none of that rubbish here. As down the inside, Steve Hicks goes on Daniel Taylor. These two seem to have been racing each other all evening. They've made a good move there. Jack Jensen is now in the Albon position, and two cars have been able to get round the last corner safely. And Piers Price trying to get involved in the number 99 car, the pink and blue livery there. Steve Hicks is now pulling away from these drivers. What can Piers Prior do into Village? They're nearly 3 wide. Jack Jensen defends from Thomas there and just holds on to 7th place. Prior looking down the inside, gets the door shut on him, and that might give an opportunity to Harry Melvin, who's running strongly here up in the top 10 on lap 4 of the race. Of course, the drivers who've maybe got a bit more consistent race pace all towards the front of the field so far. It's one thing to set a good lap in qualifying, it's another to string 10 laps together and keep things consistent. Harry Melvin had a little look down the inside of Piers Pryor there in the number 99.
You know, there's a Flake 99 joke in there somewhere, mate,
There
but I
is.
haven't found it yet.
There is. Piers, you've got to come back and we'll get that one in there. How you incorporate pink and blue into a Flake branded car, not quite sure, but we'll find a way.
New prediction coming in, mate. Bonzo Masters again. Prediction is that Lad makes it 3 out of 3.
Well, he is riding well at the moment, top 5. He's picked his way through. Pack a lot more condensed in this race, so a little bit more predictable. He's now just behind Jack Smith, who of course he battled with in the previous race. Smith unlucky perhaps to get a slowdown penalty. That's what closed him up to the likes of Jack Jensen and Rob Newman in that last one. There is Tom Dix, the number 22, trying to close in on Mike Hart. Down the inside of Smith goes Josh Ladd, so Josh Ladd is now up to 4th place. But again, we saw this similar in Montreal. He was in a very good position until the last couple of laps when he got some corner cut penalties and then went for a really big corner cut and got an even bigger penalty and ended up fairway down the order. Oh, as round goes Ben Bennyworth. Too much Hellman's applied there, and he's spun off. And he's going to fall a long way down the order now. He's going to probably fall out of the top 10. That's a real shame. Ben was having a strong race up to that point. So that moves Josh Ladd up to 3rd place. Maybe he's an iRacing Jedi, Howard. Maybe he just used the Force there like Obi-Wan. You shall have a Spinala. And round went Ben Bennyworth.
I should say, just in case any lawyers from Hellman's are watching, going to keep an open mind. Could have been too much, but could have been too little Hellman's mayonnaise. Who knows? Who knows?
Josh Ladd now right up the rear axle of Tom Dix as they go down the Wellington Straight, and surely this is going to be a very straightforward move for Josh Ladd to pull off, and yes it is. Up into 2nd place is the hat-trick on this evening for Josh Ladd, and with Matt Isherwood currently down in 20th place, you never know, could lead the championship at the end of proceedings here at Silverstone. Long way to go in this season, of course. There are another 3 rounds at Spa, Suzuka and Interlagos. And all drivers will have a dropped score as well, so Mish will be hoping that tonight it's not gone his way and that this does end up as the drop score.
I'll tell you what, mate, it's been great racing tonight, but I can't wait to see this lot going down through Eau Rouge on a first lap. That is going to be fantastic.
Into there, it's just, well, let's be honest, they're not going to make Eau Rouge, are they? We're going to have a full-on, and in fact, I need to have a word with Steve. We need it to be wet. It needs to be wet. We need to replicate Spa 98. It's the only way.
Of all the rounds to be wet, I will grant you that one is the one.
Halfway through the race then, and Josh Ladd is looking in imperious form here. Emperor Toto would be very proud of this complete domination. Mike Hart, 0.3 of a second ahead of Josh Ladd, who is surely streaming towards a round victory here at Silverstone this evening. Won the very first test event, of course, at Okayama, which seems quite a while ago now, if I'm being honest. That was yeah, back in about April that we started all of this. But how can he find a way past the Mean Machine and Mike Hart, who very nicely has his own race helmet in the game as well. Nice bit of work there. But Josh Ladd, is he going to do the move down into his favourite spot, which seems to be the end of the Wellington Straight? He cuts to the inside, brakes with about 75 metres to go, takes an early apex, and yes, Josh Ladd into the lead then, and is 4 laps away from producing a great hat-trick of victories here this evening. Mike Hart will try and fight back, as there is Kirith Kalirai, who seems to be in some form of bother there. There's a lot of damage on the car. Mike Hart's not giving this up. Sorry, Howard.
No, that's okay. I do want to stress, folks, that this is coming to you live. Bonsai Masters is making this seem like, you know, that classic magician's trick where they make people think they know the lottery by playing it on a slight delay. We're not doing that. I guarantee Bonsai Masters is just nailing these predictions so far.
Keep coming in, keep your comments flowing. There's just been a move for 6th place. Daniel Thomas has got past Mark Cuthbert, who's having a stronger run in this one, which is good to see. He's cutting back a little bit. Jack Smith, really been impressed with Jack Smith tonight. Had a not so good race number 1, but has fought back here with 2 very impressive races. Could have 2 podiums on his card by the end of this race. What was that crunch that I heard? It was this, as off goes Daniel Thomas at Stowe Corner. He's going to slip out the top 10 as Damien Wong goes by. I think it was contact in a group involving Jack Jensen, Steve Hicks and Harry Melvin. Unfortunately, Thomas is down to 12th place, just ahead of Piers Pryor. As Tom Banks trying to get on terms with Damien Wong. He's clearly had a good bit of practice now, and this is much better from Tom. Can he make this move? We'll get him into the top 10. As we have seen him across the course of the series so far. We had him in the top 10 at Laguna Seca in some of the test event races. Ben Bennyworth, good news, has recovered to 9th place, so he was driving well out there. He's just behind Mark Cuthbert at the moment, and then Harry Melvin and Steve Hicks just ahead. Still very close at the front, by the way. Mike Hart is not letting Josh Ladd run away with this. The gap is only about 0.7 of a second with 3 laps to go. There is Melvin in a pristinely kept Mazda there. I don't think there's a single panel beaten out of shape on that one yet. Damien Wong and Tom Banks fighting still over this 10th place. Closest battle out on circuit at the moment, pretty much. One going slightly defensive as they approach Copse Corner, but Banks is down the inside, and that would be a great move. One of the moves of the night if he can get that pulled off. Oh no, contact's made with Wong. Wong maybe just slightly turned in there, but Banks has been sent to the realm there. He's going to recover from the Shadow Realm, but is going to fall all the way down to probably about 15th place, as Piers Pryor's now catching up with Damien Wong, who might have had a slowdown penalty there because he was going very, very slowly into Maggot's Corner. Thomas is down the inside now, makes contact, spins both of them out, and Damien Wong, he's not going to save that, and around he goes. So Tom Banks actually gets through, and after all of that, Tom Banks is now back up to 11th.
It's an interesting way to execute the pass, though, mate. Let's not lie. I have to say it was a fairly unusual cops incident, to be honest. It happened quite late on in proceedings through that corner. I did actually think that Banks had enough of the car alongside, but of course with these Mazdas, it doesn't take too much of an impact on the rear to start off a spin.
Two laps to go then here at Silverstone. There's Piers Pryor. She's a race winner at Alton Park at the weekend in race number 2 of the BRDC British Formula 3 Championship. Was doing very, very well in that Lanham Racing entry. Ben Bennyworth 9th place. There's Mark Cuthbert in 8th. And let's cut to our leaders still, because Mike Hart is right there. He really is challenging Josh Ladd. He's not letting him get away with this one easily, so you never know, it might not be the hat-trick tonight. And in fact, I'm thinking back to Montreal. I think we saw a similar thing here between these two drivers at Montreal, with Hartz having a strong race finish or end to the evening and getting some good points on the board. Could he do the same again here? Battle between third and fourth is pretty close as well out there with Jack Smith and Tom Dix. As we're going into the final stages, mate, I know there's probably one very obvious choice, but who have you got as driver of the night?
Oh, blimey, that's a really interesting one, to be honest, mate. I think you do have to be boring. I think you do have to give it to Josh Ladd on this occasion. Mostly, I think, for that drive up through the field in race 2 to take the win. You know, back of the grid to a win has to be worth something in the driver of the day standings. But you know, we've seen some really good performances throughout the field. To be honest with you, I think Jack Smith has had a very good round this time about, and hey, we got to give him a shout out. If he genuinely managed to do a race without damage, which I'm not wholly convinced, then Hicksy deserves a bit of a shout out, doesn't he?
Hicksy always deserves a shout out for all the hard work that he puts in to put these races on.
How do we feel the guest driver's done, mate? I think Piers Pryor is you know, looking on for a top 10 here. I think he's gone about his Legends of Club100 BUKC guest appearance quite well.
He's done very well. The first race showed the pace. I think the second race and pulling your way through the order is always difficult, and you know, this is the fourth one of these events that we've done now. So I think the likes of those like Josh Ladd and Mike Hart at the front of the field, Hicksy as well, you know, they're used to pulling their way through that second race and what they need to do. Piers is probably not so used to that. I know he's done it in terms of BUKC for Loughborough, but the pace at which you've got to get yourself through, probably about 2 or 3 laps, not say 12 or 15 laps as you would in a sprint Giro race in the BUKC. But you know, he's there. He's in the top 10. He's going to get a decent result. He's going to be there on the championship leaderboard. I hope we can have him back as well. I know he's going to be really, really busy through the course of this season as he focuses on his British F3 campaign, and we do genuinely wish him all the best with that. We're so proud of what he's done, not just for himself, but for our bit of the sport as well. You know, it's being able to say that a BUKC driver won in a BRDC British Formula 3 at the weekend, and is amongst a really competitive field of drivers when he does race in the BUKC. I think it only looks good on the championship, and that's great.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. I mean, every so often we are fortunate that you know, Club100 drivers do get a bit of a break and move on up into other forms of motorsport. Piers Pryor is a fantastic example of a driver familiar with Club100 machinery, who is absolutely deserving of that opportunity that he's been given in that BRDC Formula 3 Championship. And as you say, it's not that when he's, you know, in a Club100 car, don't get me wrong, he is very quick, he is very proficient in this in Club100 karting machinery, but as you say, there are plenty of people who come to challenge him in that situation. It just goes to show how much talent is in amongst all of the championships that Club100 is involved in.
Lights on here at Silverstone as we get into twilight in Northamptonshire / Buckinghamshire, depending on which end of the circuit that we're at. I still think this weekend should be called the Northamptonshire / Buckingham. No, I'm not going to go there. But no, lights on for the end of this race. You can see the driver's eyes almost concentrating on this final lap of the race, final lap of the evening. It looks like Josh Ladd has got this one under control now. The gap's 1.33 seconds. Just going to cut a little bit further back just to show you that the battle for third is still raging on. Tom Dix behind Jack Smith. I think there has been a move though. This has been a good battle that's raged on, and Harry Melvin has got past Steve Hicks there, so Harry Melvin is up to 6th place now. I think Steve Hicks has got a clean car again. Oh no, it's the other side of the boot lid that's been damaged this time. He's evened it up. As we say, drivers on the last lap now. Here is your leader who, well, has just dominated tonight. There's no other word for it. I know it's one that's often used at the moment in motorsport, and particularly at Silverstone over last weekend, and probably this weekend coming as well. Come on, the rain. Let's have a little bit of rain, mix it up. But Josh Ladd, you've got to say, has bounced back from the disappointment of a not so good race 3 6 weeks ago at Montreal. He's got his head down. The new livery definitely has helped. The new livery has got to be worth at least 4/10 a lap. But coming into the final couple of corners now, Josh Ladd is going to win round 2 of the iRacing Club 100, Legends of Club 100 BUKC Mazda MX-5 Championship. He makes it a hat-trick. Race 1, race 2, and now race 3. There is your winner, Josh Ladd. No doubt about it tonight. No penalties. No problem for the Cardiff University driver. Fantastic stuff indeed from him. 2nd place for Mike Hart. 3rd for Jack Smith. 4th for Tom Dix. 5th Jack Jensen. 6th for Steve Hicks. 7th for Harry Melvin. I think I'll be pretty pleased with that one. 8th place for Mark Cuthbert. 9th for Ben Bennyworth. 10th for our guest driver of the evening. Thanks for being with us. And choosing a top 12 reverse. That was a good shout from Piers for a top 12 reverse. A good final race there. 11th place for Tom Banks. 12th for Aidan Bliss. 13th for Daniel Thomas. 14th for Tom Edwards. 15th for Simon Young. 16th. And there's still a couple of drivers out there that we're waiting to have come in. 16th, there we go, for Josh Wellard. Craig Brown should come across the line in 17th place. 18th is going to be Wong in the 888. Matt Hale, Matt Isherwood, Rob Newman, James Ibram and Kirith Kalirai will close things out. I can hear crunches going on. Oh my. Simon Young is upside down. There he is. I know he's disappeared. We've actually still got drivers out there racing. Let's watch them as they come in. Here's James Ibram, who's looking to cross the line in 22nd place. The timing and scoring is already classified him as finished. He's not over the line yet, JRT. Patience, patience. It's a shame for him, having had the pole position for this 3rd race of the evening. Looks a little bit down on power as well. But there we go. That's all of you drivers over the line. Oh, there have been some penalties post-race, I can tell you. Jack Jensen just fell down to 15th place. But your winner is definitely this evening, Josh Ladd. And well-deserved, Howard.
Absolutely, absolutely, mate. We all know, I'm sure everyone out there knows how painful it is to tread on a Lego brick in the dark in the middle of the night. I'm just glad he didn't pick up a puncture off of any of those sharp Lego bricks and came across the line with all 4 wheels intact.
He did indeed, he did indeed. Well, I think that's about all that we have got time for. As we say, we have got some new stuff coming up in the week ahead. So do look out for that. As I say, this weekend we're both up at Teesside for the British 24-hour kart race. Race starts from 12 o'clock. Live stream with Alpha Live starts just beforehand, probably at about 11:30. It'll be myself, Howard. We'll be joined as well by David Sullivan and Tom Butterworth for a 4-man team taking on the 24-hour in a commentary sense. As I say, we've got we put a new podcast episode out on Tuesday morning, didn't we, mate? So do go and have a listen to that. 2 Grand Prix reviews. And a review of Wilton Mill Kart Club's last round as well. And then we've got another one coming up probably sometime tomorrow, where we've got the preview, of the British 24 Hour, and also a review of the Club 100 action from Clay Pigeon ahead of the Buckmore Park racing that's going to be there this weekend. We will also have a vlog from the E60 round at Buckmore coming up as well. And I think that's all that's on my brain. Remind me, Howard, when our next round for this is in September.
So next round for this one is Spa, of course, and that is going to be on the 3rd of September for that one. So make sure that you're all putting that in your diaries. No, wait, don't put it in your diaries. Hit the notification bell. That's it. Do that.
Hit the notification bell, subscribe, do all of that jazz, and we'll see you very, very soon as well. Do take care, everybody. Thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for your support. I hope you've enjoyed the racing in Silverstone iRacing. My name's been Andrew Manor. He's been Howard Bishop. This has been the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. Do take care, stay safe, and until we see you next. Bye bye.